life now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. And on today's episode, listen, Coach TMB is super excited. I have a phenomenal lady in the studio with me by the name of Victoria Upton, who is the owner and publisher of Women's Lifestyle magazine. How you doing, Victoria?
I am doing great, and thank you for having me. It's great to be here, and it's great to see you, as always.
Oh my goodness, this is like such a big deal. And I say that because you've had an opportunity to pour into my life, if you will, and look at where life has taken us.
Well, I try to be a positive energy encourager if I can. So look at you. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah. So listen, Victoria, you are a trailblazer here in the city. You really are. And there are people, there are some people who don't know who you are yet. So do you mind just sharing a little bit about who the woman Victoria is?
Oh gosh, there's so many different facets of who I am. I'm a publisher of Women's Lifestyle magazine. I'm also really fond of music. I volunteered for WYCE.
Yes.
I've been involved with entrepreneurship and helping to encourage women, not only going through programs, but being on the board of directors for programs too. Most recently, I've had an interest in going back to my roots from college and doing art again. So I'm attending classes at Kendall.
Yes.
And so enjoying life and just being happy for the blessings that are coming my way.
Absolutely. You're such a ball of fire and energy and a woman of many talents. And one of the things that I remember you shared with me a little while ago, but you were in a singing group.
Oh boy, yeah, that goes way back. I saw something on Facebook about that, and a lot of people ended up seeing that. I was in a group called, well, I started performing music probably when I was about 11 years old.
Okay.
And I was in a group with some of the greatest musicians you could ever imagine. Came up together, and that included Larry Rhodes, Kelvin Welch, Nate Thomas, Greg. And I mean, some of the people went off to do with Switch. Kelvin's in Australia now performing, and so, and we won some awards and that kind of stuff. And we performed for a lot of people, and we broke a lot of ground out there. We did R&B, and we also did rock. And we did rock. We rocked out.
I bet you did.
And I was a little bit wild. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that, you know what, I'm telling you, she's a ball of fire.
It is hard for me to sit here. It really is.
Yes,
but it's nice. It's nice and cozy.
Yes, thank you. So you have founded Women's Lifestyle magazine, and I absolutely love that magazine, even before I had a chance to know you personally.
And you've written some articles for us.
Yeah, that was like a big deal for me. Yeah. So before starting the magazine, Victoria, what were some of the things that you were seeing that caused you to say, hey, you need to think about doing something here?
Well, the way the magazine evolved, I was working, doing some publishing work at the time, more kind of like advertising sales and design and that sort of thing. And I decided that I wanted to get involved in, like, I guess, a positive energy project. And I looked at different ways of doing that. I was really into technology, and I was looking at maybe doing a service for newspapers. That was a digital service that was technology involved, but also was positive. Included things like fashion and beauty and those types of topics. But as I did more and more research, I signed up for an entrepreneurship program. I didn't know anything about, you know, I've tried to run my own businesses and that, but you know. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to get serious about it this time. So I signed up for an entrepreneurship program. It was called Grand Rapids Opportunities for Women.
Okay, grow.
Right. And so back then, now you can imagine, this is 18 years ago. Technology was just evolving. Actually, it was 20 years ago when I signed up for Grow. So technology was just evolving. Those of us that had cell phones, we had those things that were like bricks. Right? They weighed like 10 pounds, and there was danger of getting brain cancer from, you know, being on the phone too long and that sort of thing. No internet, you know, very, very little internet and that sort of thing. And so we did, when I signed up, I had some business ideas, and we did some research. And while I was doing the research for the business idea that I had, which involves some software and stuff, I kept coming across statistics that it was important to reach women.
Important to reach women.
It was important to reach women, and women were the decision makers, and women were the people who drove the economy as far as discretionary spending and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother now, and best friend, sister, all those kinds of things. And I thought, I gotta look into this concept of starting a women's magazine. And as that evolved, I said, okay, it's going to be local. And we're going to focus on our local businesses and our local economy and see what we can do to make this an inviting, warm, to help people make connections, to help people get engaged. You know, at the time, I knew what it was like to, you know, I had little businesses and tried to do things, but there was no place for me to really promote it or advertise locally that I could afford. So I wanted it to also be affordable to local businesses.
Yes, I love that.
And so I got really into local. And at the same time, or just a little while after that, organization came along, Local First evolved, and it just seemed like this is like Grand Rapids and the surrounding area. It seemed like this is the perfect place. People wanted to be involved. People wanted to be engaged. People wanted to volunteer. And I think if people who read women's lifestyle, they're smart.
Very.
So, you know, you got people who want to be engaged. You want people who want to be connected. And we got smart people. Got a magazine for you. And so I put together the magazine.
And I absolutely love the magazine. And one of the things that's interesting to me, Victoria, and I want you to talk about this a little bit, is in the magazine, one can find a little bit of everything. You cover so many different topics. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. We have a plan every year, you know, kind of things we want to cover and that sort of thing. And one of the things is it's got to be positive and it's got to be upbeat and it's got to be uplifting, along with engaging. You know, the thing on the magazine that says essential, entertaining, and enlightening. That covers a lot of stuff. And so, so we have a plan of a lot of different topics that we want to cover, but most of it is what people tell us they want.
Okay.
And you know, you see some of the national magazines and you see a lot of topics that are racy, that are sexy, and that sort of thing. And then I'm hearing that women are saying, I want to read about book reviews.
Yes.
I want to see what kind of recipes are interesting out there for me to try. I want to learn how to organize my life. I want to know about my community. I want to know what things how I can get involved. I want to know how I can make a difference. And I want to be inspired. I want to be enlightened too. And I want to learn some things. And so one of the things that we try to make sure we do is every page of the magazine has value. When you pick up this magazine, I'm going to take up some of your time by something that I have put together. I want you to walk away with something valuable to you with every single page that you look at. And so
that's what you find in this magazine. I mean, you really do. And another thing that's pretty interesting to me, and I know there's got to be a method behind the madness, if you will, but you can find this magazine in some of the most unique places.
Well, that is true.
Yes.
Well, I started the magazine 18 years ago. And so I started with a crew of people that had some experience in distributing some other magazines. And so they kind of helped me out. And I went to every business to see if they would allow space for the magazine to be available to their customers. And I have now, Women's Lifestyle has 450 locations.
Wow.
And they're mostly all locally owned businesses.
450 different businesses.
450 different businesses make space for the magazine.
With you.
And sometimes they distribute them or they display them in the nicest way. You'll see them on their you go to Mercantile Bank, you'll see it on their coffee table. You go to Stone's Throw, every vignette in their store may have a magazine in it.
That is amazing.
And so, and then some places have them right by the door to make sure you can pick them up right there, or displayed neatly where you can see it. In fact, I just got a message from a friend that has another magazine, a Hispanic magazine, and he says, "Hey, I saw some of your magazines on the floor. I picked them up and put them on our rack, and we're going to share racks now."
That's amazing.
And I just thought, we have so many friends in the community, and so many people, work together to make it happen, and we have a lot of, magazines and material in this community, and I think that's a testament of how people want to stay engaged and involved, and that they're brilliant.
Yes, and I'm glad that you said that, because there was a question that I had for you in that regard. There's many different magazines, if you will, represented here in West Michigan. What is it that makes Women's Lifestyle so unique and stand out from the rest of them?
Well, I think one of the things is a lot of times you'll find publications that are directed specifically at an audience, and ours is too. It's for women, but we're all inclusive. We want to for all people to be engaged. I think some of the things about the magazine, and I can't give away too many trade secrets or anything.
Yeah, because we want you to go get it.
Is the fact that it's local, very, very local focused. It's kind of maybe hyper-local before hyper-local was a word.
Wow.
It was, I mean, every month we start out with a blank canvas, and we fill that canvas full of material that's relevant to you right now. It's relevant to, what you're doing in your life right now. We didn't, we have to work a few months out a lot of times, but we didn't create this stuff 2 years ago. And we're not trying to look too far into the future to bring you trends that are gonna, happen a decade from now, but things that are, obtainable, that you can put your hands on, that you want to do, that you can put your finger on.
I like that, and it's like, because I just finished. Matter of fact, I'm still going through this one right here. But it's like when you open up the magazine and start reading, even though some of this is written, a little bit ahead of time, the articles are right on time for you, when you pick up the magazine.
I think one way to look at it, and it's really simple, but it's the way we look at it, I look at it, is that it's a big invitation. That's all it is.
A big invitation.
It's this great big invitation, great big, it's pretty big size. It's like,
can't miss it.
Yeah, almost like 14 inches that way. And so it's this great big invitation for you to engage, for you to get involved, for you to learn, for you to be inspired.
Absolutely. Now, the reach is vast. You're reaching a lot of people through this magazine, and you've been in business for a number of years now.
Going on 18.
18. What is some of the feedback that you're getting from
boy,
folks reading
my
this?
head is going to get big. I'm going to get a big old head over this kind of stuff. Gosh, there's so many different things. We get a lot of phone calls from men too.
Really?
Yes.
Talk about that for a minute.
The men that call typically ask about the recipes. And they typically ask about how to get in touch with someone who's featured in the magazine, although it's clearly stated sometimes where they can, how they can find them. But I don't know if they want to talk to somebody and make sure it's okay that they're a guide, and then they're going to take that next step. So sometimes they even call us about our advertisers. Saw this ad for a hardware store, although they're carrying this. What do you think about that? And sometimes people ask us about some of the advertising, some of the products. They'll ask us. It's almost like they consider us the good housekeeping stamp of approval.
I could see how that
for
could
things,
happen.
and so. But yeah, basically, it's just it just gives you the opportunity, just gives you some options to make your life better. Absolutely,
to make your life better. And one of the other things that I really enjoy about the magazine is those that are writing. They're allowing us to see the world in a different way. Does that make sense?
Well, one of the things that we do, and I guess this makes a difference too, is that we provide a platform for voices for a lot of different people. And we look for those voices in the community. Sometimes those voices look for us. And sometimes they come from really unexpected places. And so it's really nice to be able to provide that platform for women to be able to get out there.
I love that. I love that. Now, I want to switch lanes just a little bit, because I know that you can help a lot of people in this area too. This is a woman-owned business.
Right.
What was life like when you decided that you were going to jump out into the deep end and do this?
Oh boy, I didn't really, it wasn't like jumping out into the deep end.
Okay.
I worked for somebody else, I saved my money, I looked for opportunities, I looked for mentors, I found people in the community that could help me. I went to classes, and I did a lot to learn about. It wasn't like I had a complete safety net, because you start your own business, you're out there, you're putting your butt out there.
You're
you're out there. But I look for support. I look for classes. I looked for people that could, help maybe keep me in line, because
That's good, Victoria.
I think I had to be, I'm in Grand Rapids, and I felt like I needed to be conservative, and I'm not naturally conservative. So I had to help people create boundaries for me in that way. Well, one of the things that happened along the way was I applied for a loan. It took a lot of money, and still does, but I applied for a loan and I was denied. And there was a person on the board of directors and it was a woman, and it was a woman of color.
Wow.
And she said, "You give this woman this loan. This is the best business plan we've seen.
Wow.
There's no reason to deny this loan. Give this woman this loan, or I'm going to give her the money out of my own account."
Wow.
That woman's name is
amazing.
Betty Burton.
Wow.
And she's still actively involved in the community too. So I think in some ways, I know that I was able to start a business because there was a woman and it was 2 years after I started my business did I hear this story. I didn't hear it from Betty, I heard it from somebody else. And then I asked her about it, and it was true. And so one of the things I think is important too, that women support other women. When women are supporting women, it surprises me. It hurts me. It almost shocks me. And so I think it's important that women support other women, because, as the saying goes, if a woman fails at something, all women fail at it. So, let's do what we can to support each other. We can't do everything. I can do something.
You know what? I love that you shared that, and it's almost like we could have another show just to talk about that. But it is so important for women to support each other in many different areas of life, but especially business, because this can be a dog-eat-dog world, if you will, sometimes.
It is. Yeah.
And you need to know that there's a group of women out there that you can depend on, or you can go to because you have a question and they don't mind, sharing their insight.
Yeah, I come across it all the time. Just this week alone, Florenza, I got some great inspiration from her. Bev Wall, got some great inspiration for her. The people I work with, see every day, listening to Tony on your show, I was like, hey, that's a good idea. And then maybe there's some ideas for maybe something that I can do, because what goes around comes around too.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. You are a great leader. You have a team who they seem like they just look forward to coming into the office.
They do. They love it.
What is the key, Victoria, to being that type of leader?
Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a secret.
Okay.
This isn't a huge secret, but it is how our office is run. And it's just one word.
What's that?
The answer is yes.
Oh, okay. Talk about that. Now you're going to have to elaborate.
In our office, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Now what's the question?
Wow. Okay.
So the answer is yes. We always have to figure out a way to make something work, or figure it out, or get it done.
Okay.
And so, and a lot of times that could involve technology, that could involve doing things a different way, that it can involve doing something nobody's done before or thought of before. We might have to bring something new into it. But we try to work from that principle. The answer is yes. Now what's the question?
Okay.
And it's not original. Other people have worked from that philosophy before, but it works for us.
Okay.
And so, and that goes for everything down from what type of articles we may have, what kind of information we do, what we are going to learn. I mean, we have workshops and that kind of stuff so the staff learns. But that also goes for, hey, I need to take a week off. I need to leave early. every day next week because my kid is doing this or that or another. So there's always a way to figure out, you know, how to make things work.
Oh, that is beautiful. Another thing that is amazing is women's lifestyle is out there. You're everywhere.
We're out there.
I'm like, where are they not
That's
at?
our other motto. We're out there.
Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the things that, I mean, this is what the magazine is, the big invitation. When you're inviting people somewhere, you got to be there. You know, you're going to be there too. And I think I work with a group of people who love this community as well. And so, and it's really cool to me that things like social media and that kind of stuff came along, like 2009 when Facebook pages came along, and 2009 when Twitter came along. And we could go, not only do we have a magazine, and not only do we have a website and this kind of stuff, we can do things on a regular basis, and we can show people what we're doing. And the things that we talk about in the magazine, we can be there to help highlight those things too. And so no matter, maybe it's not in the magazine, maybe it's something we just found out about, but we think it's relevant and other people are going to want to know. And so we want to be there to help inspire or show those things. Today, as an example, we were at Linda Bonell Samuelson came in town. Now last month I didn't know Linda was coming in town, so I couldn't put it in a magazine, but I found out last week she was going to be in town. She's an Olympian, she's a Boston Marathon champion and that sort of thing, and she really had some really valuable, interesting things to say. And so we went out to see her, and we're going to have it in the magazine later on. But one of the things that she said was, and it really resonated with me because it's a philosophy I have too. She said one of the greatest stories isn't the person breaking through, the first person through the finish line. The greatest stories are at the end of the pack.
Oh my God. Okay, I need you to say that one more time. That was good. That was good.
I guess I'll put it this way. The greatest stories aren't always the first ones at the finish, through the finish line. Some of the greatest stories are at the end of the pack.
Oh, wow. That's powerful.
And that's so true.
It is. It is. So, you know, I'm like lost and trying to figure out where do I want to go with you, because there's so many things I could dive off into with what you just said, but we don't have a lot of time left.
Well, let's talk about, you know what? You can find Women's Lifestyle online.
Come on, give it to us.
Website, womenslifestyle.com. Can't be easier than that. It's WOMENS, lifestyle.com. Join us on Facebook. You can just go to WL Mag, Facebook / WL Mag to find us. Type in Women's Lifestyle. You'll get us. You'll see pictures and stuff and inspirations and advice and events that are coming up. There's no rhyme or reason. There's, you know, lots of information there.
Because they're everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere. You can go to Twitter, you know, if you're a Twitter person, and Twitter is kind of shorter, maybe sometimes snarky and fun, you know. And you can find us there. And we returned to Instagram after disabling Instagram.
Okay, so now you're back?
Back to Instagram.
I love Instagram.
I mean, the magazine's 18 years old, so if you look and think of what an 18-year-old would be doing, that's what we're doing, you know.
Oh, that is
We're 18, concept. And so we kind of grew up with technology the way it is and that sort of thing, and now it's really interesting finding that younger people are starting to want a magazine because they didn't grow up with this beauty of these pages and these layouts and designs. A lot of times, you know, what they've grown up with is picture, text, picture, text, picture, text, scroll, scroll, scroll. And so they get their hands on this and go, oh, look how this looks. New. Look at this layout. Oh my gosh, I got a drop cap, and it's friendly, and it's drawing me in to read this article. And so
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful. So listen, Victoria, I want to switch lanes one more time with you. You have touched so many people's lives through this magazine. When you just reflect over the years and just think about what you've been doing, did you ever imagine that you'd have such an impact on people?
You know, the funny thing about it is it's been 18 years, it only feels like a couple. You know, so it still feels new to me. Even after all that time, it still feels new. I hope that it has a positive impact on others. I mean, one of the things that you know, I learned growing up is to always try to be positive, try to be nice. I wasn't always nice, but you know, try to be. And so I can't say that I ever look back. It's really hard for me to look back because we're always looking forward.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I don't know,
You
maybe
just talked about that too.
I am not ready to look back yet. You know, maybe.
Yeah, because you're still moving.
Yeah,
There's so much life still in you. So much life in you.
Yeah, maybe years from now. Thank you.
Absolutely. So one more time, look into that camera. Tell people where they can go for more information.
Come and join us. You can find us on Facebook, Women's Lifestyle. You can easily go to facebook.com/WLMag. You can find us online, womenslifestyle.com, WOMENS, lifestyle.com, and find us on Twitter and just connect with us, join us.
Absolutely. Listen,
Happy to have you.
Yes. This has been such a pleasure for me to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This isn't like work or anything. This is fun.
This is the fun
like
stuff.
I'm visiting with you. Now we're going to get some coffee.
There we go. There we go. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of In Life Now. And remember, as Coach TMB always says, to live your best life in life now. Until next time, peace.